thumbnails and graphics. This is one of my favorite things to go over because the amazing things that AI can do with this is just absolutely fantastic. Let's say, for example, you have a YouTube channel that you're running and you need to not only generate video ideas, but you also need ideas for your thumbnails and then also for your titling. Here's a great way to do this. We're going to take this transcript. This is a transcript of a podcast that we did. Let's upload that bad boy right here. And we're going to say, here's a podcast I did that I need 5, and you can name the number that you want, 5 concepts for titles and titles that are SEO driven and, oh my God, I can't spell. I'm not using my normal keyboard. SEO driven and has keywords, my God, keywords and key phrases. Along with that, 5 concepts for thumbnails for the YouTube video that are eye-popping and will stop scrollers. That's what we want. Okay, so we pop in there. I have some other like I've gotten feedback from clients. I've gotten feedback from like what the feedback that I give, and I pop that into the chat, and then it kind of like contexts that, or index that, and then puts it in there as we go along. So we have compiling feedback. So that's some of the things that it can do, right? So for this one, let's just look. And again, you can modify this, and it's not always going to be like perfect the first time around, but at least this will help you. This cuts down your work by a lot. So let's just look at the titling. So titling, it says the 5 core traits every entrepreneur needs to succeed in business. That's amazing. That's a really good one, right? Start a business the right way. 5 mindset shifts that can ignore. That one's all right. Why most startups fail and 5 traits to keep you in the game. That's good. From zero to growth, 5 unsexy. Nah, I don't like that one already. The real startup blueprint, resilience, focus. No. So I like 1 and 3. 1's by far the best. Let's look at the concepts that it gave. So text 5 traits that built our business. Okay, so then it says what it's going to do is basically going to give you a visual. So you're going to do a split screen with you on one side in action, the other side showing keywords like resilience, ownership. That one's okay. So here's what I'm going to do. I want to take this. Well, actually, let's do this. Startup success starts here. This is what no one tells you. Avoid these startup traps. Let's do this one. So I like this. So we're going to do, I'm going to do title, oh my God, title 1 and thumbnail concept 4. Please generate a YouTube thumbnail graphic based on the concept. Okay, so what I'm objectively trying to do here, I'm going to be clear. So now it's going to generate an image based on the way that it articulated it to be laid out. What I am going for is to just get a visual of what I need to utilize for my thumbnail, right? So it talked about how it's going to put a face in it. It's obviously not going to put my face in it because I can do that in Canva or Photoshop later on. But what we're looking for is an actual layout so we can just piece it together. It's like literally imagine you have like a puzzle. Let's just say like your typical thumbnail creation is like building a puzzle without the picture. Like it's in your head, you gotta put it together. But with this, you can actually have the picture and then have the puzzle pieces and then just put it together. That's ideally what we're going for. So it kind of cuts down the work on the creative side. Now I don't know what it's generating here. This kind of looks kind of strange, but we'll let this kind of generate. However, something else that I could do is I could say, let's do this one. You holding a match to paper label excuses. Let's do this. I love this. Okay, so this is great. The name of the podcast is Burning the Ship, so this really matches up with that. So I'm going to go over here. I'm going to say I need a graphic. Sometimes what I'll do, the reason why I'm doing this right now, sometimes what I'll do is I'll actually generate the background graphic first and then build around that with the text that I need just based off of the concepts that we have. and then put the image of the person on it. So let's just say I need a graphic generated with the idea below. I need it. Sometimes you have to tell it what you need it formatted. So I just do that standard. I need it formatted in 1920 by 1080. That's landscape, and make it realistic. Okay, so it's going to generate that for me. Let's pop back over here. I don't know if this is done. It's adding details. So as we're going along here, but you guys see what I'm doing. So yeah, so this isn't amazing the way it did. Sometimes you got to pop back into another area to do this. Another good method that you could do as well is going to Sora. So this is hosted by ChatGPT, but it's a little bit more specific for imagery, and you can create images with Sora that are much higher detail. So Sora is really good for that. The only thing I don't like about Sora is that you can't do it in like 6:9 ratio. It has to be like 3:2, which is fine for some occasions, but whatever. So I could even take that exact same thing here, holding a burning match to a paper labeled excuses with a ship burning in the background. And let's see if Sora will give us anything better. Let me move this. We can get two versions of it. It's going to be an image, and then we're going to upload that. Okay, so that'll take a little bit of time to generate. So you see here, like, I don't really like the way this looks. However, we have the layout. So we know that this is going to be an image of me sitting here like this. And then there's going to be text that says, avoid these startup traps, with a money bag and a red X over it with a scaling thing. Now we can restructure this however we want, and then you have the words over here. But this at least gave us the puzzle picture that we need, and then we can craft it and critique it as we go along in Canva or Photoshop. So that's kind of the process, the ideation process. So this is still generating. And you can see this one is a lot better. So it's still generating that for us. And then Sora is 15% of the way through that. Let's take a look at some other ones that I've tried. So like this one here, I needed a graphic for a thumbnail we were doing where it's literally like the title of the video was something like build your own cash house, where it's basically like talking about an investment property that's going to cash flow. And so I went to Sora and I was like, give me a construction worker using stacks of cash to build a single family house. And that's what it spit out. This looks amazing. This one is whatever, but it gave me two versions. But this looks amazing. So I used this for one of the thumbnails and basically made that the sideshow piece. And then I had an image of the client on there and that sort of thing. So this was just absolutely fantastic the way that turned out. That's still generating. So, okay, so then we can use this one too. So we could say like, there's a burning ship in the background with the word excuses getting lit on fire. That's eye-catching. That looks amazing. I would use something like this where I would pop that onto Photoshop, add the image of my client on here, and then you could probably just get away with that. And that is a great YouTube thumbnail. So these are just some ways that you can generate some really, really good graphics for specifically thumbnails. And even so, like I could even take this picture specifically without it being a thumbnail, just the image, upload it to Facebook with a really well thought out caption that talks about building and I could have ChatGPT do that, which we'll do that next. I could have ChatGPT take the context of maybe a video I did and then restructure that as a written post and post that with this image, because image posts on Facebook do really well, and that's a really good way to do it. So let's see. So I just finished this up. So these I don't really care for. They look a little like, let's just say like, make it real. Obviously, like I don't like the cartooniness of it. And let's just do one image so that it takes a little bit less time. Okay, so now it's going to add that to the queue. But ideally, like this looks fine. This is similar to what it created in ChatGPT. And like I said, Sora does a really good job of adding detail to it. As you saw with this one, like the detail in this is just absolutely outstanding. So if we need to be specific and just say like make it realistic, then I'm cool with that. So now we can take this, add this to a thumbnail, and then post it that way. Or I could literally just take this image, save it, and then post it with a post that talks about not giving excuses. In fact, let's do that real quick because we're bleeding into the next topic here. And oh God, it's already 2:50. So I got to wrap up here in just a second. But that being said, let's go ahead and run through this. So I want to show you this kind of bleeding into our next one. So let's just say with that same transcript, I need a well-articulated Facebook post based off the transcription attached. Now you can get very specific on what you want. I don't want to do that, but let's just see what it gives us. So it can give us like some really good stuff. So normally what it'll do is I'll allow it to just kind of give us like a baseline here. Sometimes if you like to use emojis, you can leave those in. I sometimes don't like to use emojis, so I'll prompt it to remove all emojis. But that's what this can do, right? So in this post, it says a 19 or 1519, and this is Jason's whole thing. Choice that echoes say he burned the ships, no retreat, only forward. That's the mindset you need to start a business, totally commit. So now what I can do is I can take this and modify it however I want, but copy that and then take this image, download that, post it with that copy, and now I've got a badass Facebook post that's going to go out and looks really great, right? So that's some of the stuff that you can do with these images. Some of the other things that I would recommend tools-wise. No, this is done real quick. So this is really good. Like this, it's different, but in some regards, like this is better because I like the burned paper more. So you could use that. So that's what Sora did. But Sora is really good with a lot of different stuff. Like you see the detail in the water and that sort of thing. Like it's different.